Hey everybody, this is Guy with Survive and happy Friday. So this was supposed to be a really happy post here today. We just learned that our blades were being delivered back from heat treat. But instead of happiness here, we've got something else. So this was a severely damaged pallet. We had blades falling out into the truck. The driver picked a bunch up and threw them on top of the pallet here, but just some really careless handling here as these blades made it back from Peter's heat treat. This is one of many things that can happen in manufacturing that just kind of sidelines things. And it's where I tell people I try to give best time estimates, but things like this happen that just can derail a day or a few days even. There's 1,000 blades in here, hopefully. Hopefully not too many fell out on the way back. Whatever happened here. But I can tell they were sitting out in the weather here. Got some rust on here, which we'll get all this taken care of. It's just, we carefully stack everything for shipment to make sure that we're not damaging everything. And to see stuff like this is really, feels like a violation to everybody here in the shop that's worked so hard to make precision machine parts, and just see them being treated like this. So yeah, I'm gonna jump off of surface finishing here and some productive work to assess the loss and the damage. We'll check back in once we've had this handled. Have a good night. So real quickly here, we're starting to get this, what I thought was a hasty shrink wrap job undone here, trying not to spill more blades out of the pallet, but you can see the original wrapping from Peter's that got buried in here. So something really interesting happened to this in transit, and I am not very jazzed right now. So we've gotten the shrink wrap repair job unbuttoned here, and we can get a better idea of the damage and what's occurred here. This is just heartbreaking. I can't help but feel like we've lost quite a few blades here. So yeah, I don't know if they threw it in the Grand Canyon or something on the way back, but we'll get after it here and keep on keeping on. So I could tell this main box was retaped, and I was excited to get in here. It looks like, I don't know if this was top loaded and all the boxes got crushed or what happened here, or if maybe driver's in an accident, who knows. But it looks like the front of this main box blew out and all these parts came flying out of here at some point. So we're gonna get down in here and investigate this further. So now that we're really getting down in here, it's becoming apparent these were just thrown back in here. There's a lot of nicked edges and corners and things. So yeah, we're gonna stack these and start assessing what the damage is and how we're gonna address that. But thankfully these blanks were oversized. The perimeters were down to size already, so if there's any significant damage, we'll have to address that. But some of the corners and stuff we can surface grind away as we bring these blanks down to thickness, which is part of the reason we don't send net on size parts to heat treat, because if they're already exactly to size, that becomes a real problem if anything like this happens. This would have been ruinous if these blades had been any more finished. So a little bit of good news here. Our latest batch of TSKs, these are all extras. We'll have these available soon. And the last of our GSO 3.5s, these will also be available very soon. These all seem to be okay. So they were in smaller boxes, and while they were damaged, get some TSKs here, or some EDC2s. The boxes were extremely damaged, but thankfully everything was packed in there really well, and it doesn't really look like we had any damage there. So good news. So we had about 200 parts in this box. They were relatively unmolested, so we got those carefully pulled out of here, and now we're moving this, and it's become apparent that all the boxes on this pallet had been thrown off at some point, it looks like, because this was just thrown on top of a bunch of other blades here that look like they were picked up from somewhere and just roughly thrown in here. So the problem is when you're dealing with a trucking company or somebody not familiar with your business, they don't see this as $20 a pound tool steel and a bunch of careful effort to make some nice parts. Coming back from heat treat with this patina on it, they see what looks like junk. And it was apparent when our delivery driver picked up some blades off the floor of his truck and just tossed them on top of everything, and just didn't seem to understand what was in that shipment. So we're gonna get these scraped up and move on to the next crush box that's back there. We'll check back in a minute. So here we are down to our last box. I guess we can tell you now, surprise, the 3V GSO 4.7s are back from heat treat. So that's happened. And we're just gonna get the rest of these dug out of here. At this point, I mean, there's been some damage, but some of these have stayed at least sort of intact. I'm more worried about loss, looking at how many were in the truck and just how many I've found down in here in the shrink wrap and stuff while I've been doing this. So we're gonna get these unpacked and then do a final count and see what's what. We'll check back soon. So just another quick update here. We've gotten through all of the mangled packaging and stuff on this pallet, and we're down to the pallet. Something dramatic happened. I don't think we'll ever know, but wow.
So in conclusion to our videos that we've done prior to this, up to this point, we've realized that we've lost 21 5.1s and then 7, or how many 4.7s?
4 4.7s.
Four
Total
4.7s.
of 25 lost blades in this shipment. They're just gone.
Yeah, why this is detrimental and why this is important for us to share is realistically, these are things that happen in the manufacturing process, part of logistically quite often. These are things that go on, you never really see it, hear about it, whatever else, but as we're doing this, more of this inside look to seeing what it takes to do this, keeping you guys up to speed what's going on, you can see how this can kind of be detrimental to a time frame. The good news was is we were kind of nervous for a bit because nobody knew where this pallet was. And this is a lot of knives that were coming back that had a lot of time and money invested in them in the process to get us to this point. So now that the shipment showed up, you've seen prior to what happened to that, the night before we ended up having a different schedule what needed to be done as far as processing other knives to set us up for today. This is Saturday, in order to keep us rolling and be able to do that. So we had to set all that time aside to sit down, do a complete inventory on these knives, see where we're at, file a claim with the trucking company, see what we can do to do that. I mean, it's a big revenue loss. So it's not a matter of getting to this point and having these blank steel pieces. It's everything beyond that. So this is our opportunity to give you guys an inside look to see what we're doing, what we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and how we combat that, because this is just one little setback in the grand scheme of everything. So wish us luck. We're working hard, and thank you guys for tuning in.
So we've got everything counted here, and next is just a very careful inspection as we start getting these surface ground and work through finishing. Talk to you guys again soon.